Hello everyone. So today we are going to start about the transport of the drug. In last lecture we started the topic pharmacokinetics. In that we discussed about the introduction of pharmacokinetic, and then we started the topic transport of drug. In that we discussed about the passive diffusion and filtration, and now we are going to discuss about the specialized transport. So specialized transport is classified into carrier mediated transport and vascular transport. Carrier mediated transport occur by facilitated diffusion or active transport. Active transport can be of primary active transport or secondary active transport. Secondary active transport occur by symport or antiport. And vesicular transport is divided into endocytosis, exocytosis, pinocytosis. So this is the specialized transport. Now this we will discuss about each and every type. So specialized transport. So specialized transport occur by carrier mediated transport or vesicular transport. So vesicular transport is further divided into endocytosis and pinocytosis. So first we will start about the carrier mediated transport. So cell membrane contains the transmembrane proteins which serves as carriers or transporters for physiologically important ions, nutrients, metabolite, transmitter, etc. across the membrane. So cell membrane contains the transmembrane proteins which will act as carrier or transporter for physiologically important ions, proteins, nutrients, metabolite. So this is the cell membrane which contain the transmembrane protein. Now the mechanism of carrier transport. So transporters combine transiently with their substrate. So transporters will combine transiently with their substrate and they will undergo conformational change, carrying the substrate to the other side of the membrane. So they will undergo conformational change in their size, shape or their form, and they will carry the substrate to the other side of the membrane, where the substrate dissociates and the transporter returns back to its original state, and on that side substrate will dissociate and transporter will return back to its original state. So this is the mechanism of carrier mediated transport. So carrier mediated transport is classified into facilitated diffusion or active transport. This classification is based on requirement of energy. So carrier mediated transport is divided into facilitated diffusion and active transport. Now we will discuss about the facilitated diffusion. So transporter for the facilitated diffusion is the solute carrier transporter, that is SLC transporter, operates passively without needing energy. So this diffusion will occur passively, and this diffusion will not require energy. Translocates the substrate in the direction of its electrochemical gradient, that is from higher to lower concentration. So like passive diffusion, this will also translocates the substrate in the direction of electrochemical gradient, that is from higher concentration to the lower concentration. It merely facilitates permeation of poorly diffusable substrate. Example, entry of glucose into muscle and fat cells by glucose transporter, that is GLUT4. So it will it rarely facilitates the permeation of poorly diffusible substrate. So this is about the facilitated diffusion. Now the active transport. So difference between facilitated diffusion and active transport is that active transport requires the energy, and this is inhibited by metabolic poisons. So this transport can be inhibited by metabolic poisons. Transports the solute against the electrochemical gradient. So this is also the difference between facilitated diffusion and active transport. This with the help of active transport we can transport the solute against its electrochemical gradient, that is from low concentration to the high concentration, and this will result in selective accumulation of the substance on one side of the membrane. So due to this transport of solute against the electrochemical gradient will result in selective accumulation of this substrate on one side of the membrane. Example of the active transport is levodopa and methyl dopa. Transport dopa, these are actively absorbed from the gut by the aromatic amino acid transporter. So levodopa and methyl dopa are transported actively. Now the active transport is further classified into two types, that is primary active transport and secondary active transport. So primary active transport. So energy In the primary active transport, energy is obtained directly by the hydrolysis of ATP. So in the primary active transport, there is direct hydrolysis of the ATP, and transporter required for the primary active transport is the transport belong to the superfamily of ATP binding cassette, that is ABC transporter is required for the primary active transport. And examples of these transporters are P-glycoprotein, MRP2, BCRP. So these are the transporters. Now the secondary active transport. So transporter required for secondary active transport is the solute carrier transporter, that is SLC transporter. Energy to pump one side one solute is derived from the downhill movement of the another solute. So for the energy to pump one solute is derived from the downhill movement of the another solute, mostly NH plus ions. So secondary transport is classified into symport and antiport. Symport is also called as co-transport. In the symport, both solutes move in the same direction, and in the antiport, which is also known as exchange transport, both solutes will move in the opposite direction. So this is the secondary transport. So this is the example of specialized transport. So in the first diagram, first diagram is the facilitated diffusion. Second diagram, B diagram is the primary active transport. C diagram is the symport, in which both solutes are moving in the same direction, and antiport, in which both solutes are moving in the opposite direction. So this is about the active transport. In the facilitated diffusion, in the facilitated diffusion, concentration gradient is from higher concentration to the lower concentration, and in the active transport there is movement of solute from the low concentration to the high concentration. And in the primary active transport there is direct hydrolysis of the ATP, and in the secondary active transport there is no direct hydrolysis of the ATP. So this is about the active transport. Now the vesicular transport, which is classified into endocytosis and exocytosis. Certain substances with very large or impermeable molecules are transmitted inside the cell. This is called as endocytosis, or extruded from the cell. This is called as exocytosis. A binding protein located on the membrane complexes with the substance and initiates vesicle formation. So binding protein which is located on the membrane will complex with the substance, and this will initiate vesicle formation. The vesicle then detaches from the membrane and may remain stored within the cell, or it may release the substance in the cytoplasm, or it may move to the opposite membrane, fuse with it to release the substance across the cell. So the vesicular transport is divided into endocytosis and exocytosis. Vesicular transport applicable to protein and other big molecules. So with the help of vesicular transport, we can transport proteins and big molecules. Contributes little to the transport of most drug. So contribution of vesicular transport to the transport of drug is very little. So this is about the specialized transport. So specialized transport is classified into carrier mediated transport, vesicular transport. Vesicular transport is further classified into endocytosis, exocytosis, spinocytosis. Carrier transport. In the carrier transport, cell membrane contains the transmembrane proteins, and these transmembrane proteins will serve as carriers or transporter for physiologically important ions, nutrients, metabolites, transmitter, etc. across the membrane. Now the mechanism of carrier mediated transport is that transporters combine transiently with their substrate. This will undergo conformational change, and they will carry the substrate to the other side of the membrane, where the substrate dissociates and transporter returns back to its original state. Then carrier mediated transport is further classified into facilitated diffusion and active transport. So in the facilitated diffusion, transporter is solute carrier transport, operates passively without needing energy, translocates the substrate in the direction of the electrochemical gradient, that is from higher to the lower concentration. It merely facilitates the permeation of poorly diffusible substrate. Now the active transport requires energy. This can be inhibited by metabolic poison. It transports the solute against its electrochemical gradient, and this will result in selective accumulation of substance on one side of the membrane. Example of active transport is levodopa and methyl-dopa. Active transport is further classified into primary active transport and secondary active transport. So primary active transport, energy in the primary active transport, energy is obtained directly by hydrolysis of the ATP, and transporter belongs to the superfamily of ATP binding acid. Examples of these transporters are P-glycoprotein, MRP2, BCRP. Now the secondary active transport. Transporter is SLC transporter. Energy to pump one solute is derived from the downhill movement of the another solute. Secondary active transport is classified into symport and antiport. In the symport, both solutes will move in the same direction, and in the antiport, both solutes will move in the opposite direction. And vesicular transport. Vesicular transport is classified into endocytosis or exocytosis. So this is about the transportation of the drug.